Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there was a wealthy businessman named Frederick. Frederick was a classic success story. He had come from nothing and built a prosperous electronics business. His vast stores supplied everything from high-end gadgets to basic household electronics. People in the neighborhood marveled at his rise to fortune, and he knew it. In fact, he liked nothing better than to remind everyone just how generous he was with his wealth. One day, Frederick happened upon a girl named Neka. Neka was beautiful, kind and diligent, a breath of fresh air. She came from a poor family that sold bananas on the roadside. But she had a quiet dignity about her that captured his attention. Though Freddie could have had almost any girl in the city, but there was something different about Neka. He started to think she might just be the one. Frederick was charismatic, and he knew just how to charm people. He went out of his way to make Neka feel special, showering her with attention and compliments. He would call her up just to ask how her day was, sending small gifts with a sweet note, or take her on a long scenic drives where they would talk about everything and nothing. For a while, he made her feel like she was his whole world. Wanting to win her over even more, Frederick decided to shower Neka's family with help. He paid her father's hospital bills when he was ill, funded her younger brother Chidi's schooling, and even gave Chidi a job in one of his shops. These gestures only deepened Neka's gratitude, because she had never met anyone who took her family's welfare so personally. At first, things were good. Frederick and Neka shared some lovely light-hearted moments. He would take her to fancy restaurants where they would laugh as he taught her how to use chopsticks and cutleries, or try some dishes she couldn't pronounce. Sometimes, they would have late-night conversations about the future, where Frederick would always talk about his dreams, his big business plans, and how he would love to share that life with her. In those moments, Neka felt like maybe this was her happily ever after. But with time, a troubling pattern began to reveal itself. Every time Frederick did something for them, he made sure Neka knew exactly how much he had sacrificed. "Neka," he would say, "you know if it weren't for me, who else would have paid your father's bills, eh? Tell me, when you people were selling bananas on the roadside, where were all these other men? Where were they?" Neka would nod quietly, trying to avoid conflict. She valued Frederick's help, but his constant reminders made her feel very small. She was deeply uncomfortable each time he seemed to bring up their family's humble past, just to remind her of what he had done for them. Yet, whenever she felt unsure about him, Frederick had a way of coming back, apologizing with a softness that would make her think he understood. One day, after a heated argument, where he had again brought up her family's past, he showed up at her door with a bucket of roses. "Neka, I am sorry," he said, his voice lower and softer. "Sometimes I'm just so afraid to lose you. It's because I love you." The way he said it made her heart ache, and she forgave him, thinking that perhaps he was just afraid of losing her. She convinced herself that he meant well. One afternoon, as they walked through the busy streets, Frederick turned to her and said, "Nneka, you know I have given so much to your family because I see you as my future. I mean, where would you be without me? Look at you. You look so beautiful, courtesy of me. When you people were selling bananas, were you looking this good? Did anyone else step in? No, it was all me." In moments like this, Frederick's tone would turn slightly patronizing. And though Nneka often laughed it off, but a part of her started to feel trapped. Yet she stayed, because she knew he had invested in her family. And on some level, she thought maybe he was right, that she owed him. And besides, when he wasn't reminding her of her past, Frederick could be the sweetest, charming, and most caring man. Whenever they had a disagreement, no matter how trivial, Frederick always found a way to bring up her family's financial struggles. Once, when Nneka tried to argue about a decision they were both making together, he interrupted her, saying, Nneka, don't you remember I just paid for your mother's medication last week? Or have you forgotten that already? When you people were selling bananas, did anyone else care about you like I do? Nneka was becoming a shadow of herself. Her mother noticed how withdrawn she had become and gently advised her to consider ending the relationship. "Nneka, my daughter, you are not yet married to this man. If he treats you like this now, imagine what marriage will be like. A broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. Please, leave." Unknown to them, Frederick was nearby and overheard their conversation. Furious, he barged into their home. Mama, so now you want to advise her to leave me? When you people were selling bananas, where was this advice of yours? If I hadn't come to save you people, would you even have time to sit down here and be gossiping about me? After everything I have invested in your family, you now sit down to advise her to leave me. Mama. Things also reached a breaking point one afternoon at the shop. It was around 2 p.m. when Frederick strolled in to check in on things. He noticed Chidi eating a meat pie and drinking a bottle of soda. Trying to take a quick break, Frederick's face darkened. "Chidi, you're here eating meat pie and soda instead of walking. Tell me, were you eating meat pie and soda when you people were selling bananas? Were you even able to afford it?" Chidi looked up, tired but respectful. "Sir, I hadn't eaten all day, and I have been working hard since morning." "Working hard?" Frederick said. "You call this working hard? When you people were selling bananas, you didn't know what hard work was, and now you're wasting my money on snacks." In a fit of anger, Frederick threw Chidi out of the shop, telling him never to return. But that evening, Nneka and her family went to plead with Frederick to take Chidi back. They thanked him profusely for his kindness. And Frederick, with a small grin, went into a long speech about how his good heart was the only reason he put up with their family. "Oh, my good heart," he said, his hands on his chest as if he were about to win an award. My good heart will be the death of me one day. Oh. I don't know. I just can't help but save those in need, eh? It is my nature. I just like to help people in need. Because when you people were selling bananas, nobody else was there for you people. It was me. But what can I do? Nneka's mind was a whirlwind. She felt trapped, constantly being reminded of her family's past struggles. She began walking aimlessly one evening, her thoughts heavy, not paying attention to where she was going. As she was about crossing a busy street, she narrowly avoided being hit by a car. A man in a sleek black car rushed out just in time. It was Emeka, a businessman who used to buy bananas from them. Emeka insisted on driving her home, sensing her distress. He was gentle and kind, and his genuine concern for her well-being surprised Nneka. He started visiting her family, bringing them laughter and warmth. Unlike Frederick, he never for once mentioned their past, nor did he even seem to care that they had sold bananas. One day, Emeka gathered the courage to speak with Nneka's parents. Papa, Mama, I would like to marry Nneka, he announced, his voice steady and respectful. Frederick was devastated when he heard the news. He rushed to Nneka, pleading and apologizing, promising he would change. I regret everything, he cried. You know I have invested so much in you and your family, Nneka. Please don't leave me now. You can't just leave. But something had shifted in Nneka. She had seen what true kindness was through Emeka. And for the first time, she had the courage to stand up to Frederick. Enough, she said firmly. You keep saying you saved us. When you people were selling bananas, did I not support you and respect you in every way? You never saved us. You only used my family's struggles against me. Frederick was shocked. He had never seen this side of her, and it dawned on him that his days of playing God in her life were over. Emeka, upon hearing the situation, offered to pay Frederick back of every bit of investment he claimed he had made. But Frederick shook his head, realizing he had lost one thing he thought he controlled. Months later, Nneka married Emeka. Their wedding was a joyous celebration, filled with laughter, friends, and family. After their wedding, Emeka moved Nneka's family to a more beautiful and better apartment where they can relax and feel happy as family. Frederick went back to business, though he didn't fully move on, as his life was filled with regrets every day. 1 year later, Nneka became pregnant, and Emeka continued to treat her well and pamper her so much. He treated her with love and respect, never for once bringing up her family's humble beginnings. And for the first time, Nneka felt genuinely free. And they lived happily ever after. She said to him, "Thank you for coming into my life. You are the best." Their life was filled with happiness, and Nneka felt free as no one reminded her of her past again. The lesson to be learned from this story is that we should never play God in people's lives, because in the course of playing God, we might just end up losing the most important people that we have. Also, true generosity comes without strings attached, and love should never feel like a debt. Thank you all for listening to my story, and I hope you enjoyed my story. Please let us know your opinion in the comment section, and do not forget to share this video, like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories.